Hi everyone, my name is Zul and I am a journalist here at Asia Online Publishing Group. And today for this interview session, we have a special guest, Mazhar from Microsoft. Mazhar, great to have you here with us. Could you please introduce yourself and what is it that you do at Microsoft?
Thank you, Zul, for this opportunity. My name is Mazhar and I am the General Manager for Customer Success Unit for Microsoft Malaysia. My team works with our enterprise and public sector customers to ensure that the Microsoft technologies that they have invested in are fully implemented and the customers are getting the real value out of their investment in Microsoft solutions.
Great to have you here once again. So let's get down to the interview session, right? With how people work and companies operate have evolved dramatically, especially over the past few years. How have these factors changed the way organizations need to secure their employees as well as systems?
That's a very loaded question up front, yeah. So, but very interesting one as well. So, since the start of 2020, we saw remote work go from an exception to a global norm. It drastically impacted the security postures of most organizations. Now, for some, it was a manageable shift, but for most companies, the changes equated to a huge undertaking for unequipped internal IT teams. Remote work means that employees, their devices, their data now reside outside the walls of an organization's physical IT environment, which inherently increases the risk of cyber attacks itself. Yeah. Now, companies are now becoming more fluid as people are working on both corporate networks and home networks, moving fluidly between business activity and personal activity online as our daily routine. And that's where employees' home networks and devices are now part of the corporate network. And what this means for organizations is that their network is suddenly without firm borders. Now, while this increases the risk for organizations of cyber attacks, but despite these increased vulnerabilities, the trend of hybrid work is here to stay because of the outweighing benefits that it has. Now, to adjust to the new way of working, businesses must prioritize security, agility, and resilience, and also focus on expanded unified security management. Now, that's where the second part of your question comes in. What shall we do for improving our security posture? So, two things up front. First, we now have to ensure that we keep devices healthy and managed. All devices that need to access the corporate network must be managed securely and ensure that they are protected from phishing and threats. Secondly, we will have to make security everyone's job. Since the perimeter and scope has broadened already, we now need to look at people as the first line of defense, because and for them, cybersecurity training is crucial to ensure end users are aware and know how to secure their home offices and devices. So the companies will continue to build, and they will need to offer guideline to people continuously to make sure that they are working securely at their homes.
Great, thank you, Mazhar. It seems like with how business operations have changed over the past years, everyone should know how crucial security is and why organizations must invest in a security culture, ensuring that every employee is very secured online anywhere. So, which brings me to my next question that I have for you is that, what are some of the criteria or factors that customers should look out for when they are choosing technology partner?
Okay. My perspective on this is that when you are choosing a cybersecurity technology partner, you are essentially investing in the peace of mind. Because we know all organizations, as you said, irrespective of their size and the markets they operate in, they want to reduce the risk of cyber attacks. Businesses want to protect their systems, data, infrastructure from unauthorized access, and obviously from exploitation. So everybody wants to protect themselves. And similarly, prevention of service disruption is another goal that every business has these days. Now, finding the right cybersecurity technology partner is key to achieve this peace of mind. And to me, there are three considerations for a customer during the selection process. The first, the partner that you choose should have a strong commitment to cybersecurity in terms of R&D investment. It should have a dedicated pool of resources to continuously innovate and protect the customers from the evolving threat landscape. So that's the first one. Second, it should have an end-to-end integrated and holistic security solutions approach. And what do we mean by holistic? The holistic approach to security solutions mean it encompass platform, which means tools. Continuous intelligence should be trickling in from various sources so that the evolving threat landscape and the risks can be fended off. So that's number two. And coverage for highly heterogeneous workloads, both on-premise and cloud deployment. So an end-to-end integrated solution approach is necessary in terms of platform intelligence and heterogeneity of the enterprise environment. So that's number two. And the third, last but not the least, the cybersecurity partner ideally should have that thought leadership in the market in sharing the cybersecurity best practices and industry standards with customers to enable and empower them to foster deeper skills with a long-term vision. So, in short, the answer to your question, three things that you should be looking at from my perspectives in your future cybersecurity partner is a strong commitment, holistic security solution, and thought leadership in the market.
So with its breadth and depth of portfolio, Microsoft is still not made well known as a cybersecurity company per se. So can you share how Microsoft plans to be more visible in the market or industry?
Well, great question. First of all, let me reiterate. Microsoft's commitment to cybersecurity space as a company is unwavering, both in terms of R&D investments to develop and to improve our security solutions and to raise the awareness about cybersecurity globally. So we stand by our customers and partners to ensure that both these things are achieved by partnering with Microsoft. Now, let me give you an example. In May 2021, Microsoft launched its first Asia Pacific Public Sector Cybersecurity Executive Council across 7 markets in the ASEAN region, consisting of policymakers and influencers from Brunei, Indonesia, Korea, our own Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Now, this council is supported by cybersecurity professionals. And the aim of the council is to accelerate public-private partnerships in cybersecurity space, share threat intelligence, and build a strong and coordinated response against the cyber attacks in the region. Furthermore, in alignment to Microsoft's company vision to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more, we are expanding our cybersecurity skilling and awareness programs globally. In Malaysia specifically, we are joining and co-sponsoring numerous third-party cybersecurity events, industry forums, interviews, and many other activities. Now, last but not the least, Microsoft Malaysia team deeply engages with our numerous Malaysian customers and partners every day on the field to discuss, assess, and improve their security postures for all 3 Microsoft clouds: Modern Workplace Cloud, Azure Cloud, and the Business Application Cloud. Now, we believe that these investments and activities on the field will elevate cybersecurity skills for our customers, awareness levels for our end users, and Microsoft's visibility in the cybersecurity space at the same time.
Yeah, so it seems like Microsoft is really getting themselves involved in the cybersecurity industry, especially with the Asia Pacific Public Sector Cybersecurity Executive Council that, Microsoft recently launched, to ensure that every person as well as organization are more cyber aware. Well, speaking of cybersecurity, last year Microsoft quadrupled its cybersecurity spending with a plan to spend $20 billion in security over the next 5 years. So where will that spending actually go to, and how will it ultimately benefit Microsoft's customers?
Okay, very aware question. Yes, you're right. Microsoft's cybersecurity investments have actually undergone a boost in response to the series of hacking and ransomware cases that occurred over the past year. So you're right. Microsoft committed 20 billion US dollars to cybersecurity development for next 5 years, and an additional $150 million to support cyber training programs and help government agencies modernize their security systems. When this investment was announced, at that time, as per Microsoft President Brad Smith, this new spending is being dedicated to helping enterprise customers, especially at the local, state, and government level, just to catch up on implementing the security solutions, which in some cases customers have already bought, but they have not implemented it yet. One of the biggest reasons cited by cyber experts for this disconnect between cyber spending and the actual ROI in the form of better protection comes down to lack of cybersecurity skilled workforce. And that is the reason why a part of this investment that Microsoft has committed will generally help our customers fill the skills gap in the cybersecurity space to achieve better protection and resilience against threats.
Okay, I understand now. Basically, more of that investment really goes towards helping customers fill their cybersecurity skills gap to achieve better protection as well as resiliency against threats. Now, since we're talking about cyber threats, it will be something that organizations will have to face that is going to continue to evolve. So what can businesses do to ensure that they are always prepared to deal with whatever changes that may come in the future?
Okay, now that's $1 million question. So first of all, organizations should rethink cyber security strategy to implement zero trust model, which is an essential security strategy for today's reality. Let me elaborate. Zero trust is a proactive, integrated approach to security across all layers of the digital estate that explicitly and continuously verifies every transaction, asserts least privilege, and relies on intelligence, advanced detection, and real-time response to threats. So instead of assuming that everything behind the corporate firewall is safe, the zero trust model assumes breach and verifies each request as though it originates from an open network. Now, regardless of where the request originates or what resource it accesses from your business data, zero trust teaches us to never trust, always verify. Every access request is fully authenticated, authorized, and encrypted before granting access. Secondly, micro-segmentation and least privilege access principles should be applied to minimize the lateral movement of access. Rich intelligence and analytics should be utilized to detect and respond to anomalies in real time and make sure that the response to the cyber attack is timely and we are not late. So this zero trust model should span across all 6 pillars of your identity and access management landscape. And those 6 pillars are identities, devices, networks, infrastructure, apps, and data. Secondly, apart from zero trust models, people being one of our key assets, and sometimes people are the blind spot to these attacks. So you want to ensure that you train your users and make them aware on spotting phishing emails, malicious links. In short, organizations who are reconsidering their security strategy should consider a zero trust model and make sure that their end users and security professionals are well trained to cope up to the new age challenges of cybersecurity.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you. Cyber threats have evolved, and it's important that organizations to evolve as well, and that starts with what you said earlier, to rethink their cybersecurity strategies, such as look towards, implementing a zero trust model and ensuring that security team is well trained to face these evolving threats. Now, since you mentioned people as one of the blind spot for organization when it comes to cyber threats, can you share with us how can Microsoft play a role in educating users as well as creating awareness for end users?
Specifically to Malaysia, let me answer to you that in Malaysian context, In line with our Bersama Malaysia initiative, which we announced last year in April 2021, we pledged to empower and train 1 million Malaysians with digital skills. And cybersecurity is one of the key topics in that program. Okay, and we have got modules in that program who are addressing the training needs of both security professionals as well as end users. So we strongly encourage our users to go through the content and modules that we have on MS Learn portal to get yourself trained. Now, over there we do have courses as simple as cybersecurity one-on-one, just to understand the fundamentals, and that is relevant to end users, all the way up to security professional certification and training. Yeah. So what Microsoft aspires to do is to ensure that we are addressing all facets of skills development required in Malaysia to bring people to a level whereby we can have a holistic response to the new age cybersecurity challenges that we are facing today in terms of skilling the people. Now, this is not only happening in Malaysia. Microsoft has already expanded its cybersecurity skilling initiative to 23 countries across the globe already since it started. So we are trying to put our humble contribution into this cause.
It's great to see Microsoft is bringing up security awareness training because it is critical for employees to know and understand their part in helping to prevent data security breaches or any cyber threats that are out there. Unfortunately, Mazhar, that is the end of the question that we have for you today. But before we let you go, do you have anything else to say to the audience before you go?
Thank you very much, Zul, for this opportunity. The crux of the discussion that we had today, I would like to summarize into 3 or 4 points. The first is that we all know that hybrid work model is here to stay, and it is because of the benefits that it provides versus the risks that it poses to an organization. So that's point number 1. Now, to get ready for those new age challenges of cybersecurity, the organizations can do 3 things to ensure that they respond well. First, they need to choose the right technology partner for cybersecurity, who has got the right solution, the right commitment, and the right thought leadership. So choosing the right partner for cybersecurity is important. After choosing that partner, the evolution of the security solution implementation should focus around zero trust model. So that's the second thing. And last but not the least, people are an integral part of cybersecurity response and cybersecurity strategy for any organization, which means that the organization should have a holistic strategy of skilling up people for the new age cybersecurity challenges. With that, thank you very much for the opportunity given to share my thoughts on this forum.
Great. Thank you so much, Mazhar, for taking your time to do this interview with us. Hope to connect again with you in the future.